guys, today we have another member of Desert Barbell, Mishka. Welcome Mishka to our interview.
Thank you.
So Mishka has been training with us for a while. I think it was the first year of Desert Barbell actually start working. So just for people to know, introduce yourself, say who you are, what you do, and how long have you been powerlifting for?
Oh wow, so my name is Mishka and I've been powerlifting since Desert Barbell opened up. Is that 4 years now?
Yeah, 4 years.
3-4 years. In the beginning it was just one day a week trying to figure out what it is or what it should be or what it should be like. So it took me a while to get into it, but I think 3 years has been like consistent training. I do citizenship by investment for work. So basically an office job where I sit for 8 hours a day. And then I come to Desert Barbell to feel good about the day.
Ooh, nice. Right, so let's just talk about what did you do before coming to Desert Barbell? Because obviously we go to the gym to train, yeah, and then we have a particular goals that we have in our head and we want to achieve. So what is it exactly that kind of pushed you? What was the reason why you started going to a gym in the first place before you joined Desert Barbell?
See, it wasn't really with a goal in mind.
Okay.
Right? So you think you have to be active, you're getting older, you gotta do things, you gotta stay fit. But I did classes here and there because I didn't have a direction, I didn't know, I had no aim, I had no goal. I just knew that I had to do something to get moving a little bit more.
Yeah.
I suffered a lot from bulimia.
Yeah.
So that was a very difficult 5-6 years in my life. And I wanted to overcome it, but I didn't know how.
Okay.
Right? But at the same time, I wasn't confident enough to train, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see.
You know, I'd get there, I'd pick a class, I'd stay at the back of the class.
Yeah.
Because, I was like, what if I'm doing it wrong? What if I look silly? What if this isn't working? And I'd get very frustrated with myself. So I would hide in a gym.
I see.
If there wasn't a class at that time, then I wouldn't do anything at that time. I'd go there. If I'd missed the class, I'd go home.
Okay.
And it was inconsistent. It was very frustrating for a very long time. But I knew I wanted to do something. I just didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the direction. And every time I failed, I'd go back to the bulimia.
I see.
So I'd be good for 2-3 weeks. I'd keep it up, and then I'd fail, I'd do something silly in a class. I couldn't keep up to the next person next to me who was doing whatever that looked better or in my head looked better, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'd fall back into a pattern.
I see. And then have you, because obviously you're saying that you've been trying to do classes, have you tried having a personal trainer or any other activities just kind of for you to stay active?
Yeah. So somewhere in the middle, I picked a personal trainer, or a personal trainer picked me at the gym. Yeah. It was a horrible experience.
Oh my God.
So that just...
What made you say it was horrible? Why is that?
So first and foremost, we did this body test thing.
Yeah.
Where he decided from this chart thing that I am 7 or 8 kilos overweight.
Okay.
And that was very scary. Now imagine you're suffering from bulimia.
Yeah.
You try to seek help. Someone puts your details into a chart and says you're 8 kilos overweight.
Yeah.
Looking back at it now, I know I was never overweight. I thought so.
Yeah.
But I know I never was. If
Yes.
you see pictures, I may not have been as fit, I may not have been as strong, but I was never overweight. But someone had labeled me as 7 to 8 kilos overweight.
Yeah.
So that was, mentally it was very, very, very scary. And then we started training, and there were certain things I couldn't do. There were certain things I was scared to do. And I was constantly told, stop being lazy.
I see.
Don't be lazy, give me 2 more. Don't be lazy, come on, let's not be lazy. It was constantly revolving around losing weight because you're overweight, plus you're lazy. And
so it never worked out though.
It never worked out. And one day on the leg press, I hurt my sciatica,
I see.
which was something I discussed before, and never went back.
Yeah, well, not a great experience though. Yeah, but then, okay, so having this kind of like negative opinion about like training the gym, having a personal trainer, like what made you kind of find a way of how to deal with it? Like, what was your next step in order for you to be able to kind of stick to something and be consistently active?
I wanted to be better. I wanted to get better. I wanted to overcome the eating disorder. I wanted to be stronger. I just didn't know how. And
Yeah.
then I met Marco.
I see, yeah.
So Marco's married to my best friend.
Yeah.
And it felt like a very safe conversation to be able to tell him I'm not lazy,
Yeah.
you know, because someone had already branded that in my head, you
Yeah.
know. And he said, come in and try, we're different.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're different.
All right, what is different about you guys?
Walked into Desert Barbell. I have videos of the first day I was trying to deadlift where my hands keep doing this like a chicken.
Yeah.
And I looked around and I realized, you know, we all look different. So that was my first thing. I was like, especially with the women, I was like, you know, everybody here isn't sculpted and like perfect and, you know, all like, I was just like, okay, so, you know, the body image thing started relaxing. The more I came to Desert Barbell, the less body image started to matter.
Yeah.
And the more strength and how you feel, just that the feeling became a point of the conversation. No one asked me how much I weigh. No one asked me how much I want to weigh.
Yeah.
You know, there was no conversation over my weight, over my age, over my experience, over anything. No one discussed that with me, which was very refreshing because it was
that was different.
yeah, it was just new. It
Yeah.
was like, you know, let's talk about today
Yeah.
onwards, not how much did you weigh before or what do you know how to do, what do you know not how to do. We started clean, fresh, and the hardest thing was to unlearn
I see what you had already.
what was all, but
Yeah.
I was able to do that very naturally because it wasn't a point of conversation. It wasn't the main focus of everything that I did wrong or everything that I didn't know how to do. It was like, let's focus on stuff that you can do
Yeah.
and you want to do that make you feel good.
Yeah.
And it was addictive.
Amazing, great. And then so you started training here, started coming to Desert Barbell more often, and then like what results have you started noticing like after that first couple of months training here? Strength.
I mean, the first time that I deadlifted my own body weight,
Yeah.
I remember the day, I remember what it was, I remember which platform it was, I remember what I was wearing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, this is me,
Yeah.
and I'm lifting me, and it was. That's when the switch happened.
I see. Yeah.
That's when I stopped my other gym membership. I stopped going to classes. I stopped the cardio obsession, which I hated doing. I hated it. And then it became 4 days a week, Desert Barbell, strength training, and I started learning new things.
Yeah.
Like all the accessories, I had no idea what half of them were,
Yeah. Yeah. I see.
you know?
Yeah.
And then I was excited to learn new things, develop new habits, and never looked back.
Amazing, really cool. And then, so obviously, trying strength training, right? And then training here has changed your perception of not just your like body image, but also about training in general. Because a lot of people think, oh, I need to do a lot of cardio in order for me to be able to lose weight, or I need to do a lot of cardio in order for me to lose body fat and then look amazing and have the tone shape that everyone is wanting. Especially girls, especially women are so after this. My gosh, let me just run for 2K just to make sure I'm gonna
get those steps in, get those steps in.
exactly. Which is like, I'm not against cardio. I think it's also like a great way of you to stay active, etc. But if we come into that image that they're looking for, having that nice toned body, we need to understand that the strength training has to be as a priority. And I think you are the great example for that. So you, the one who actually experienced the benefits of it.
Yeah.
And obviously getting stronger is something that is just make you really powerful, and you don't really care about that weight anymore, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, the weight drops. You get the body image. You get there. No one's saying, that you do this and you don't get there. But the journey is so much more fun.
I see. Yeah.
I still have the skier on my program. I still have the assault bike on my program. Not saying that I don't do any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
They're there, but they're a supplement to getting stronger.
Yeah.
And because now the aim has become to get stronger, everything else that complements that aim is fun.
Yeah.
So cardio is no longer just, oh my God, I have to do this, it's such torture. It's like, no, we'll do it because we need to get to a deadlift that's X, Y, and Z kilo. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
if you want to get there, you got to do this, then it makes sense. Then you do it. It's the whole, you do it all together. No one's saying one is better than the other, but when your main aim is to get strong.
I see. And then what was the difference in terms of like being coached here rather than being coached somewhere else?
I'm coached on my abilities
Yeah.
and not my disabilities.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is very empowering mentally. So it's not just your physical strength, it's your mental strength. I get to do things that I enjoy. If there are accessories that I don't enjoy or that scare me, we either try to learn them,
Yeah.
and after we learn them, if we don't like them, we supplement them or we change them with something else. So I've learned that there's not just one way of doing triceps, for example.
Yeah.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4. We still do the triceps,
Yeah.
but we just figure out 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways of doing it that is enjoyable. So it doesn't. It's not what you have to do. It's what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with my experience with the what's it called?
Leg press?
Leg press.
Yeah.
Where I threw my back out and it was horrible.
Yeah.
I don't do my leg press anymore, but I do 5 other exercises that give me the same result that I enjoy doing, that I'm not scared of doing, that I don't have a bad experience with.
I see.
So it's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
It's kind of tailor-made around what you want to do, what you can do, and what you enjoy doing. And
Yeah.
that's what gives you consistency, I think, because you come here because you enjoy coming here, not because you have to come here.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody, after a long day of work, or if I've traveled for a business trip, my body obviously doesn't want to come here, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's tired, it's sat on a chair for like 10 hours, but my mind brings me here because this is where I'm happy.
Yeah.
So it's like when your mind takes you out to dinner with your friends because that makes you happy. It's the same thing. My brain wants me to come here because he wants to feel happy.
Yeah.
And hence I come here.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned this because we get this all the time, especially like from the clients, new clients who comes in and they say, oh, don't have motivation to train, because when you ask them, why have you been consistent enough? And they say like, oh, my work is really hard, I work long hours, I don't have time to train. And they come with those things, which is, you understand, but in the same time, you want to help them. So I'm really happy that you brought that up, that's the place where people come in just to have fun.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, training is not necessarily has to be like something that you forced to do.
Yeah.
It's actually enjoyable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really glad that you mentioned this. And then power meet. Why have you decided powerlifting and try yourself in a powerlifting competition?
First of all, whoever's done a power meet can tell you it's one of the best days of their life.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun. I think power meet is the day you learn that powerlifting is not an individual sport.
Yeah.
Because you want to do well, but then you enjoy everybody else doing well. The whole atmosphere picks you up. Things that you didn't think you could do and things that you haven't done in the gym before.
Yeah.
Everyone else lifts you up. And it's kind of like a compound effect. It
Yeah.
affects all of us together, and you achieve numbers that, if someone told you about a year before, you'd be like,
Me? No way. Yeah.
and sometimes after power meet, you don't repeat that number again.
Yeah.
Because the atmosphere on the day, it does something for you. My first para meet was lots of fun. The singlet wasn't so much fun.
Yeah.
I felt like a sausage. But then everybody else is wearing it, so it's, you're like, oh, okay, we're all sausages together.
Yeah. But then what made you like, did someone tell you, oh, try that out? Or what made you try it?
It was a given.
Okay.
Like with Marco, it was a given. It's like we do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we do the power meet. I was like, okay, so that's what we do. It's a show of strength to yourself and your loved ones and everybody else who's maybe not in the country with you, because we do like the live streaming thing, right?
Yeah.
To see you and to see your friends and really demonstrate what you've achieved and what you've worked for.
Yeah.
Because the power meet, at least for me, it keeps me in check. So if there's a day where I'm actually gonna be lazy, not because someone's telling me I'm lazy, I'm actually gonna be lazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, but the power meet's like 4 weeks away, so I can't, it kind of gets you back on track because you have a date. You have a date and you have a time that you got to show up and you got to do something.
Yeah.
Which is a reflection of everything you've worked for. So it keeps you disciplined. I find that, and I like the fact that it happens twice a year, because even if you miss one due to whatever, you can get on board for the another one, and again, after the power meet, you start building again. So that's what I like about it.
Amazing. And then, so recently you started training with Bex, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So just say about that experience, you like trying a new coach, and then how was it so far?
I was very nervous.
Yeah.
Because again, you find your comfort zone with one coach. It's been going great, and then you're like, that fear kicks in. What if it doesn't work? What if it does? But then you look at Bex.
Yeah.
And then you look at what Bex has achieved.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Am I looking to that?
Yeah, get with the program. Because, 155 kilos for a double.
Yeah.
And she's like, you look at her, you look at what she does, you look at how she trains. It's what she lives for.
Yeah.
She's very, very inspirational. And it's not,
to me as well, to be honest with you, to me as well. Yeah.
She's something else. And it's not just about the numbers that she pulls.
Yeah.
It's not. It's her consistency, it's her discipline, it's her calmness. I always tell her, even before she trained me, she's a very graceful lifter.
Yeah.
She glides into a lift, and then you start calculating, you're like, that was 100 and something kilos, but the way she does it is it's very, very graceful, it's very calming. It gives you as her student confidence.
Yeah.
One, she's got your back. 2, she knows exactly what she's doing. And if you want to be half as good, then you do what you're told you need to do.
Exactly.
You trust the process. It's a beautiful process. At Desert Barbell, you're never alone. So Bex and I train 2 days a week together, and I train another 2 days by myself.
Yeah.
One, she's 9 out of 10 times always around. If I have a heavy lift, she's there to spot me, even if it's not my session. So I enjoy that relationship, and I have a lot of respect for that relationship, because she gives me a little bit of extra time, even when it's not my time.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. Then you expand that into the Desert Barbell community, and then the coaches are there. So even if you're coaching someone else, you come there and you spot me if it's my top set. Even if you're coaching someone else, you'll yell to encourage me to get it up. And that happens with Chris, with Dan, with Pat, with Marco. It happens with everybody.
Yeah.
So just because you've got one wonderful trainer here, you're still not alone.
Yeah, exactly.
You're part of the family.
Yeah.
They look out for you, and you feel safe.
Yeah, nice, really nice. Almost cried here. But
I
all
made
right.
her cry.
But so you just guys had a powerlifting competition, isn't it? Yeah. So just say what kind of struggles did you guys have? Did you face anything that you were not sure about, and how did you manage, obviously working together as a team, to overcome it?
So this last para meet was, it wasn't the one that I had prepped for.
Yeah.
But probably the one that I'm most proud that I showed up for. We started training around 6-7 weeks, maybe even 8, I'm not sure. 6 to 8 weeks before, where I transitioned over from, training with Marco to training with Bex. The transition wasn't hard. We've been friends. We know each other. I've seen her train. We watched her at the Asians, which was phenomenal. Week number 3, I hurt my back.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything serious. It was a strain. It was a muscle pull.
Yeah.
It's completely fine. But it wasn't fine at the time because we only had 3 weeks left.
Yeah.
So she changed a lot of things. So we worked around it in so many ways I can't even describe, because she knows what she did. I don't exactly even know what she's done.
Yeah.
We benched a lot more. We did a lot of rehab. We knew we weren't going to get PR numbers.
Yeah.
But we also knew that we were going to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a date. You know where you need to be.
Yeah.
You show up.
Yeah.
It was an experience. Training with an injury and competing with an injury was, given the past where I was very scared and I was very shy and I was very no confidence to train anywhere else, showed up on a platform and I did what I could do. I was happy. It was an amazing day, like all the other parameets.
Yeah.
And that's when you also learn it's not just about the numbers.
Yeah.
Just the way it's not just about body image. It's also not just about the numbers.
Yeah.
You can have a bad session, you can have a bad quarter, you can whatever. It's about showing up.
Yeah.
You show up for yourself. You get a trainer that holds you accountable for showing up.
Yeah.
And you do what you need to do and you get through it. And then you start training again.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, I just want to everyone understand, it's like, training is never like a straight line, like it's always like we live our lives and everything could happen. There is different situation in our life that can throw us off, like, and like makes us struggle whatsoever. But then if we understand that, it just gets easier.
Yeah.
Because if you keep like forcing yourself doing stuff and then, oh my god, I'm not getting results, this should be here. We're not robots. I just want you guys to understand that it's never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problems there, it's going to be a struggles here, but it's only the matter how you manage it. And as you said, you guys sat down, decided, okay, this is what are the situation that we are in right now. What can we do about it? What actions we can take in order for us to still show up on the power meet and still to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. I love it. Nice. So comparing your life before Desert Barbell and then comparing your life with like what have achieved and how you feel at this point, like what are differences you can notice by you before you actually joined Desert Barbell?
I'm stronger as a person.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically. So when stuff happens, like it happens at work, it happens with family, it happens with relationships, it happens to all of us. Knowing that I've actually performed on a platform in strength, it transfers over to my life.
Yeah.
Knowing if this deal didn't happen or if this whatever, went wrong or I missed a flight or whatever it is, I'm strong enough. I can do this.
Yeah.
I've done it before. There's numbers that show what I've done. I know what my body can do. My body couldn't do it if my brain didn't want to do it. So when you connect all of that together, it transfers into your daily life, into your business life, into your personal life, into your family life, knowing that you wake up as a stronger individual.
Yeah.
And it just makes everything that much better. I'm not saying it's perfect, it's never perfect. But then this happened recently where you may encounter a illness.
Yeah.
That was unexpected, that was weird, that was scary. 2-3 days into it, you're like, no. I know what my body can do. I know that I've taken care of it. I know that I'm strong. and I will overcome this.
Yeah.
Because this is my lifestyle. This illness or this problem is temporary. What's consistent in my life is the work that I've put in making myself stronger and healthier.
Yeah.
And it pays off.
Yeah. What if like someone's watching our interview and they're gonna be like, nah, it's like I don't know, I still feel, you know, like oh my god, my work is just so crazy, you know, these long hours. Why do you think people not taking that action? Like why they're not in the gym yet?
Because they're weak.
Weak.
You make excuses when you're weak.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's in your mind. Your body can do anything that your mind convinces it can do.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Nothing's impossible, but sometimes it's easier to make excuses for yourself. Sometimes it's easier to stay in bed, and sometimes it's easier to be the victim of your own life rather than the hero of your own life. No one's gonna show up for you.
Wait, yeah, that's true.
No one's gonna show up for
Yeah.
you. If you don't show up for yourself, no one will ever show up for you.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and I keep saying this to everyone. Just like I was even recommending, I was like, take a piece of paper, write it down, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and stick it somewhere where you look at
Right.
every single time.
100%.
And the moment you're gonna stop feeling sorry for yourself, this is the moment when you're gonna take responsibility for your life and stop being a victim.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely agree with you. A lot of people not taking that first step, going to a gym, or just keep looking for excuses and then not even doing anything just because they feel sorry for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the moment you guys stop doing that, this is the moment that everything's gonna change.
Everything.
Fantastic. Alrighty, so if we imagine someone there, same as you, with the same problems that you had previously before joining Desert Barbell, watching our interview, what would you suggest them? Like, what would be your advice? What would you tell them to do right now in order for them to change their lives?
Take a chance on yourself. Bet on you. You'll never fail.
Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Mishka.
sweet.
Was really was my pleasure.
It was my pleasure too. Thank you for having me, sweetie.
Thank you.